Hiyo. I know that from an earlier video that I've uploaded, I said that I will likely only be uploading on the weekends and stuff. But even though I'll probably be more busier next week, it seems that I may as well just upload anytime I can. So expect at least like maybe one video per week. If I can do my best, I'll at least try and get at least one video out per week. If not, then let it be. And also this video is gonna be quite slide heavy, so be prepared for that because a lot of information is gonna be portrayed in this video, and I have to explain a lot of stuff. So yeah, sorry if it's gonna be too slide heavy, but whatever. Either way, today's video we'll be discussing a very interesting topic, and has to do with historical linguistics, and it's how we know what old ancient languages sound like. So we have all these modern descendants from these older ancestor languages: Latin, Pro-Germanic, Pro-Indo-European, that kind of stuff. So this video will be discussing how we reconstruct those languages and figure out how they pronounce like back then, without any like. Yeah. So the method used is called the comparative method. Well, what is the comparative method? Well, it's basically a method where we compare all the modern descendants of the ancient language, the ancestor language, and then we take that result and we analyze the patterns and stuff, see what sounds correspond to what, and then figure out from process of elimination and whatnot to figure out what the ancient language sound like. We basically try to reconstruct the sounds based on its modern descendants, like comparing the cousin languages to each other and figure out what their grandparents sound like, kind of thing. In today's video, I'll be demonstrating the comparative method, and I'll be showing how I'll be going through how it works, like a little brief view of how it works. Okay, so I'll be reconstructing the number 6 in Latin. First off, before we reconstruct anything, we need to lay out the modern cognates, the modern descendants words for the number 6. So I'll list, for simplicity's sake, I'll list out the 5 main ones only, and like the basic ones. So yeah, now spelling doesn't necessarily reflect pronunciation always. So I'll read them out to you. Sais, says, cease, say, chasse. Now, first things first, we need to figure out we first look at all the modern cognates and realize, hey, there's this like pattern here, but like we need to figure out which sound was at the beginning, what consonant. So we need to figure out, did the word begin with a s or a sh? Well, we can see there's a possible correspondence going on. So in Portuguese it's s, in Spanish it's s, in French it's s, in Italian it's s, but in Romanian it's sh. So what's going on here? Well, there might be a correspondence here where at the beginning of word where it's s in the other Romance languages is sh in Romanian. So since we analyze this possible correspondence, this pattern here, we could say that maybe the word began with a s, but it was likely that it changed to a sh only for Romanian. But if it was a sh, then it would have to change it into all the other Romance languages like 4 times. So 4 sound changes to sh, s for each of the other Romance languages, and it kept a sh for Romanian, which is less likely. And this is what linguists call a conditioned sound change, meaning that it is more likely that it began with a s and it shifted to a sh only for Romanian. We're trying to assume as little sound changes as possible. So the less sound changes, the more accurate, the more likely it's going to ever happen. So in that case, let's check, but we should probably check the correspondence first before we assume anything. So here's the word for 7. And as you can see, there's that sh pattern going on there. So we can confidently reconstruct the initial consonant as s. Next up, let's figure out what about the ending of the word. Well, we notice that some of the cognates ends in a consonant and some of them end in a vowel. And but it seems that most of them end in a consonant, meaning that likely the Latin word ended in a consonant, particularly s, because once again we analyze the pattern and it seems that s is more common, and well, it's likely that it began as s and changed the other ones. So it's likely we can reconstruct the ending as s. But however, we also have to account for one more thing. Romanian's double syllable cognate, and that has 2 syllables. And that could have possibly arisen from nowhere, so maybe we should analyze that. But first, how about we take care of the vowel? So I'll read out the vowel to you guys. I, A, E, A, A. unfortunately, from this information alone, we can't really deduce the vowel and stuff because the vowel is a complete wild card. It's pretty unpredictable. The vowel is a bit more unpredictable than the consonant when it comes to sound change, sort of, you know. So, however, fortunately, we have some written evidence of Latin. So we have some written evidence. Now, this won't always apply to every ancient language. Like, for example, Proto-Indo-European, they didn't write anything down back then. So in the cases where like it's kind of hard to deduce what sound it is, so you don't know what sound it had, then one of two things: you have to try and compare as many languages as possible, gather as much information as we can, or we have to take an educated guess and set up the scenarios. And I'll discuss this maybe in another video or something. I don't know. But yeah. Anyways, we look at the written form and we see that it's sex. So we from this, we can maybe say that the vowel was most likely a monophthong. So maybe we can reconstruct it as A. Let's do the final touches. So remember that, two syllable cognate for Romanian? Well, there's something that had to happen that caused that, okay? So we could divide it into two scenarios. Scenario one, there was an epemphasis, which was just adding an additional sound to ease the pronunciation of a word. So we could say that maybe they just add an A at the end of the word to make it easier to pronounce. But the reason scenario two could be that the word in Latin ended with two consonants. Now why is that? Well, it could have just ended in two consonants, but then maybe, and then a vowel came along and stuff, so it's possible that it could have ended in two consonants, and there was a consonant cluster at the end. So maybe some sort of sound to ease the pronunciation, and that may be where the vowel came in. So we can maybe reconstruct the word as se with a consonant in between. So a say and then a consonant and then a s at the end. That would be our best guess. Alright, here's the moment of truth. We have assembled all the cognate words and we have taken those and tried to compare them and try and reconstruct the word in Latin. So I'll read over the non-cognates one more time. Sais, says, cease, say, chasse. Alright, I'll tell you guys now. The original word in Latin was sakes. 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 Here's a little fun exercise for you guys before I go. I want you guys to try this. You can now that you know how the comparative method works, you can try and reconstruct the word 9, the number 9 in Proto-Slavic, given the following modern cognates. Devni, devini, jevinich, devyet, devyet, devyet. I probably pronounced some of them wrong because I'm more familiar with Romance language pronunciation than Slavic ones or Baltic ones. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, I guess. Goodbye.